Thousands of Americans are at risk of exposure to a cancer-linked chemical, ethylene oxide, and the Environmental Protection Agency explains that risk is based on where you work or live.
More than half of the country's medical equipment is sterilized with the compound. And when it evaporates off the surface of the products, it can create potentially dangerous concentrations of air pollution in the buildings where they are stored. Some people who work in those warehouses consider the colorless, odorless gas to be an invisible threat, as many have become sick or even died.
In a joint investigation with Grist, reporter Andy Parati takes an in-depth look at claims that 2 Georgia companies knowingly exposed employees to the toxins for years.
Muscle spasm.
Ira Montgomery shows dozens of prescriptions he takes every day to stay alive.
This is another blood pressure.
26 pills in all.
I forgot this one out from that one, I'm sorry. And this is anti-reject.
Medication needed following an organ transplant after doctors discovered cancer in his liver that nearly took his life.
15 pills in the morning, 16 pills at night, every day, 7 days a week.
So this is your life?
Yeah, my new life. I thank God for being here, but it's hard.
A joint investigation uncovered Ira is one of more than 50 employees at this Lithia Springs, Georgia warehouse who claimed in a lawsuit their former employer, ConMed, exposed them to a cancer-causing toxin for years. Many of them now suffering from severe illness. At least 4 have died.
So me and my wife, we sat down and we looked at each other and said, baby, they are now pausing all of you guys.
Here's how it happened according to the lawsuit. It starts at this facility owned by Sterigenics in Cobb County, Georgia, which sterilizes millions of medical devices a week using a hazardous colorless gas called ethylene oxide, a toxin the Environmental Protection Agency says causes cancer and tumors. The sterilized products are then trucked 12 miles away, here to ConMed's 300,000 square foot warehouse, the size of 5 football fields. While there are boxes of medical equipment treated with ethylene oxide, off gases inside the warehouse, allegedly exposing workers.
I was shocked.
Attorney Eric Hertz represents Ira and other warehouse workers in a pending lawsuit that claimed ConMed and Sterigenics conspired together to hide exposure from workers. The claims against ConMed were dismissed after Hertz said the plaintiffs reached an agreement. Sterigenics' lawsuit is still pending. In 2020, ConMed admitted to the Occupational Safety and Health Administration that employees were not informed about ethylene oxide, fining the company $7,800.
There's no reason not to tell the employees. There's no reason not to give them protection devices.
Handheld monitors used by Ira and other ConMed workers show ethylene oxide levels inside the warehouse so high, it set off alarms. Multiple readings more than 50 parts per million. The exposure limit set by OSHA is 1 parts per million.
This is 911. What's the address of the emergency?
It's ConMed Corporation. There's an employee. I'm not sure if he's having a seizure or a heart attack.
According to county dispatch records, EMS responded to the warehouse at least 22 times since 2016.
We just used to have people that come in there and just fall out. Just like
Collapse?
Just collapse.
We was having a meeting, and one of our employees just collapsed in the floor.
The warehouse is where the material that gets sterilized goes to. Nobody really thought about them having emissions.
Jim Bolin is the Air Branch Chief for the Georgia Department of Environmental Protection. In 2019, the agency tested the air around another Georgia warehouse storing medical equipment. The findings were startling to this date. The warehouse emitting 5,700 pounds of ethylene oxide per year. That's about 9 times higher than the facility where the equipment is sterilized.
That's correct. The controlled facility had lower emissions and the warehouse had higher emissions.
Wow. I mean, that must have been a surprise to you.
Yes, it was a very big surprise.
After After uncovering elevated levels of the toxic gas, the Georgia Environmental Protection Division now mandates these kinds of warehouse companies must obtain air quality permits, which include monthly testing and new equipment to remove the gas. While Georgia took action, we uncovered warehouses in other states that store products sterilized with ethylene oxide do not have similar regulations. Do you think this is something other states should be looking into as well?
I think they should be looking into it.
This one here is another anti-rejection.
An industry using a dangerous chemical, accused of exposing workers to an invisible threat for years.
I gave you 13 years of professional work. I trust you to make it safe for me to come to work. So why you can't just do it right?
ConMed has denied the allegations in response to the lawsuit and declined to answer our questions. Sterigenics also denied any wrongdoing. In March 2024, the Environmental Protection Agency released sweeping changes involving sterilization plants that use ethylene oxide. It includes installing more advanced equipment to remove and capture the gas, as well as better air quality monitoring. But the EPA's new rules do not address most warehouses that store medical supplies treated with the gas. There are at least 4 in Georgia, including ConMed.